This week on the Wildcat Report, a Millard West student wins free canes for a year at the halftime show. This year's spring musical has some mini guest stars. Rongisch tears her ACL once again. Craig and Will come face to face with ghosts. And this week's Sports Corner with Will.
Good morning, Wildcats. I'm Emily Seaton.
And I'm Corey Hadfield, and this is the Wildcat Report. We hope you're wearing purple in remembrance of French teacher Natasha Ludwig's son, who passed away Sunday due to epilepsy.
This past Friday during the basketball game, one student had the amazing opportunity to win Raising Cane's for a year. Let's see how he did.
Here at Millard West, there's one thing that brings the whole school together. Basketball games. Where they're notoriously known for, the dance team, the pep band, and the opportunity to win canes for a year. On January 27th at the boys' Millard West vs. Omaha Central game, one boy got the chance of a lifetime.
I was really excited. I talked to other people before the game, and I was like, I hope he gets called. So then when he did get called, I was really excited, and I was like, that's my brother.
When Will's name was called, him and his family were over the moon excited for him to have a chance to win canes for a year.
I think a lot of it was, he started because his sisters were playing, and we were always at tournaments and traveling, and he always had time to go out there and goof around, at timeouts or before and after a game.
Going for his first shot, Will was just warming up. Without hesitation, Will went for his second shot. For his third shot, Will got the crowd fired up, and with determination and confidence, Will went for it. From the time he was little, he has fallen in love with the game of basketball, from watching his sisters play to joining his own Special Olympics unified basketball team. Every coach and player has been fully accepting of Will and makes his experiences out West unforgettable.
I know he's a big fan of Shea Wyatt, but he's a lot of fun to see at the games. He comes, he has a lot of energy, and he just has a lot of fun at the games.
You like Shea? Who else do you like?
No.
You like Colby?
Yes.
Colby Gomez?
Yes, and Faye.
I love the kid to death. He's one of the nicest, smartest, most awesome kid I've ever met.
Winning free canes is great, but what everyone will remember is the shot Will Stoneburner made to win it all. This has been Tess with the Wildcat Report.
This year's spring musical, The Sound of Music, will have some special guests.
Not only will it bring joy to some students at Millard West, it will also bring joy to children and their parents.
The story begins in 1938 atop the high Austrian mountains. Nestled in the valley between some hills, a small mansion with 7 kids stand taking orders from their father. Millard West's production of the story begins in a similar way. Millard West's theater director, Brooke Phillips, decided The Sound of Music would be the best story to portray this spring. Along with Millard West students, Phillips casted 4 students from preschool to elementary school. The kids bring a new sort of spontaneity and youthful joy to the cast.
The 2 youngest ones especially are fun because they're 6 years old and 10 years old, and they're just fun to be around. It's a nice change of pace.
Long hours and late nights producing a musical is hard on the high school students, but even harder on the children. Musical rehearsals are going slower than past years, so the younger children can learn their lines, actions, and stage directions.
It's a lot to ask of them for the amount of rehearsals we have, and the show weekend is all late nights and really long and hard work. So in order for them to not tucker out, we wanted to be able to change in a different performer every other night so that those weeks aren't so long and that they can get some sleep and be a kid.
The high school students in the musical are fond of the young kids. Spending several hours a week together creates a family bond in and out of the spotlight.
The young children are my favorite part of the play because they're so cute and energetic, and I love kids, and it's really fun to work with them.
The kids have been really, really well behaved, save for my daughter. She's a little bit more free-spirited.
Getting young kids to sit still while watching a live musical is a challenge, but an even tougher challenge is getting them to act in a live musical.
Little kids, sometimes they don't want to listen, but they're getting the hang of it.
The Sound of Music, the musical, the movie, the classic, is coming to the stage of Millard West with new and upcoming stars. Young and old, the cast is readying themselves to depict an ageless story of family and love. The musical is set to debut this coming March. This has been Trevor and Elaina Ewing with the Wildcat Report.
Lauren Rongisch has sparked a fear throughout her basketball team.
She tore her ACL. Once again, we go to Emily and Megan with the story.
After 11 years and 2 previous knee injuries, number 3, Lauren Rongisch, is out for another basketball season after tearing her ACL once again. At the varsity game on Saturday, January 14th, the girls played Bellevue West, and one of their star players, Rongisch, took a hard fall.
I was playing a game, just a varsity game, and I went to go score a layup. I drove to the other basket, and this girl kind of ran into this side of my leg, and when I jump stopped, my bad leg kind of like caved in.
During the game when I saw her go down kind of awkwardly and she didn't get up, and I went right out there, I'm kind of thinking to myself, please be your ankle, please be your ankle.
After a great play by Rongisch, she fell to the floor in pain. Thoughts ran through her mind, feeling frustration, sadness, and confusion, but still her team was a main concern to her, just as much as she was to them.
So we all were kind of happy that she scored, and then she was down, and so everyone kind of just went silent, and no one really knew what to do. And then we had to play the rest of the game, but you could tell that she was in all of our heads.
Just because Rongisch is out for the season doesn't mean she's any less of a leader.
Since I can't play, helping the younger ones out and telling them what they need to do, what they need to do better, just on the sideline though.
Rongisch had her surgery Friday, January 27th. Although this injury was one of the worst, Lauren has dealt with it twice before and is expected to come back just as strong as ever.
Unfortunately, we got bad news, and it's just an awful feeling. Just somebody who loves to play as much as she does, that something that's out of her control keeps taking it away from her.
After 4 games without Rongisch, the Wildcats have won 3 and lost 1. But coach expects even more improvements throughout the next few weeks. Lauren is making the best out of the situation and is ready to get back on the court next season. This has been Emily Torring and Megan Stevens with the Wildcat Report.
Megan and Will went on a spooky adventure this week.
They found some paranormal investigators to help them with their experience. We go to them with a story.
Last October, Craig and I traveled to some of the Metro's most haunted places. Our interest was piqued after the road trip, so we decided to look into local paranormal groups. After a couple of quick Google searches, we were led to Buried Alive Paranormal Group. We met the Omaha-based group, comprised of Christy Williams, Kurt Peterson, and Jeremy Kurland, at the Malvern Manor in Iowa.
Tried to build a Ouija board one time that went completely wrong, and I think that really going wrong is what intrigued me.
Just not right.
Before I ever even met Jeremy, I've been into I like paranormal. It's just interesting to me.
What the ghost hunters seemed to stress was that they entered each case skeptic.
You have to think logically, okay, they say that they hear noises up here. Is there trees touching the building? And you have to think like that because you want to make sure that if you're saying that anything is paranormal, you have all your facts straight.
This was not the team's first stay at Malvern Manor, and they recounted to us some of their past experiences in the haunt.
Jeremy was all the way down the end of the nurse's hallway. I was up in Inez's room, and Devin was in the middle somewhere. And Jeremy just said, "Come on, do something, make a noise." And as soon as he said it, the loudest boom you ever heard and shook the whole building. It literally sounded like somebody dropped a body on the floor.
We were also told of the not-so-lively cast of characters that live in the house. There's 12-year-old Ivis, who loves to play with her dolls, cranky old man Hank, who hates it when people mess up his clothes, and a whole bunch of other spirits that live there post-mortem. The transparency of the ghost hunters was exemplified at the end of our stay at the manor. When we were unable to make contact, they told us 90% of the time they don't find anything, but the last 10% is what always brings them back. This has been Will Olsen and Craig Morrissey bringing you the Wildcat Report.
And now we go to this week's Sports Corner with Will.
Good morning, Wildcats. I'm Will Morris, and you're watching Sports Corner. We're going to start out with swimming news. This weekend, the boys and girls teams competed at the Millard South Invitational. Girls had a great showing in the meet and placed third. Boys struggled a little bit and finished 7th.
It's a lot of the team building kind of stuff. It's not just an individual swimmer who's good. It's we gotta pick each other up and kind of get behind each other and help each other up for races.
Boom, Liz is off, Haley's off. She's got to do the sprint of her little lifetime.
The key is just to stay together as a team and like instead of focus individually, like focus as a team.
Third place, here's the excitement. It looks like Westside's, no, Millard West has got it.
The Wildcats finished strong in their dual season and now have a lot of momentum going into Metros and State. This weekend will also be the Metro Conference meet starting on Friday and continuing into Saturday. We'll have swimming all day from Millard West. Parking will be a little bit hectic as the southwest parking lot will be blocked off for visitors for the meet. Plan accordingly. And in wrestling, the Wildcats competed at the Elkhorn South dual tournament, beating Elkhorn South and Wakefield before dropping to Bell East and Burke. They will be hosting the District A4 Championship on Saturday. Levi May thinks his team has a great shot coming up into the rest of the season.
You just can't give up, and you have to just try your hardest when it counts.
In basketball, we'll start out with the boys' side of things. Wildcats have been on just a little bit of a cold streak lately, dropping to Omaha Central a couple weekends ago. And on last Friday, they lost by a point to Lincoln Pius X, and then on Saturday they lost to Norfolk on the road by 5. Brock Burling thinks his team also has a good shot at the end, but they need to regroup now.
We need to improve on executing down the stretch more and bringing intensity every practice so we don't have those slow starts that we did.
The Wildcat boys played a very hard-fought game against Omaha Central, but in the end, it was just not enough. They fell to the Eagles by just a point. You can watch the full replay on our Strive channel. In girls, they've actually fared a little bit better than the boys have these past couple of weeks. Last Friday against Pius, they actually beat the Thunderbolts 41-35, but they also struggled on the road against Norfolk, dropping 52-41.
Just every game we need to start bringing more intensity because we started out too slow and then we kind of dig a hole and it's too hard to come back from, and like we will have like a good quarter, but then like the next quarter we start to go down. We just need to play all 4 quarters.
The girls played a clean game against the Eagles and managed to come away with the win, sparking a little bit of a comeback for their season this year. And in hockey, the boys are 13-4-3 after beating Tri-City to snap their undefeated season, but then also losing to Westside last weekend. We had Garrett and Morris's reaction on the big win.
I mean, we're scoring a lot more, and it's more of like, it's less of an individual game, and now it's more of like a whole team is working together.
Let up some rebounds, just pop it home. Let's walk out here with the dub.
Let's keep the effort from Sunday. Just keep up our same play. We'll be golden.
Run the system.
Yes.
The Wildcats have had some tough competition this year, but have played well and managed to come away with a win over Tri-City. That's all we have for today for Sports Corner. I'm Will Morris with the Wildcat Report. Have a good one, Wildcats.
Thanks, Will, for this week's sports updates. I'm Corey Hadfield.
And I'm Emily Seaton, and this is the Wildcat Report.